Picture this. Two people stand at the same starting line in life. Both have similar opportunities, similar education, and even similar financial conditions. Yet one of them goes on to build an extraordinary life of financial freedom, abundance, and millionaire-level wealth, while the other struggles year after year, never breaking free from the cycle of survival. The difference? It's not luck. It's not privilege, and it's not even talent. The difference lies in habits, mindset, and the small decisions made daily. Most people dream of wealth. They talk about it, they fantasize about it, and they even imagine what they would do if they had it. But dreaming about wealth and building wealth are two entirely different realities. One is passive. The other demands deliberate action, sacrifice, and a new way of thinking. Here is the hard truth. The vast majority of people never cross into the world of financial abundance because they are trapped in patterns that guarantee mediocrity. They follow the routine of the crowd, living paycheck to paycheck, chasing momentary pleasures, and avoiding discomfort. They stay in their comfort zone, and wealth never grows in comfort zones. Wealth belongs to those who dare to think differently. It belongs to the individuals who challenge old assumptions, who are willing to change their relationship with money, time, and discipline. The wealthy don't just work harder, they work smarter. They don't just have goals, they have proven systems and habits that, when repeated daily, make wealth inevitable. One of the most powerful quotes on success comes from Jim Rohn. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. Those words hold the essence of wealth creation. The difference between millionaire-level success and financial struggle isn't one massive event. It's the compounded effect of daily habits, practiced consistently until they reshape destiny. This journey is not about overnight success stories or lottery winners. It's about proven habits, the ones practiced quietly, away from the spotlight, by the 1% who build and protect wealth. These are not theories. These are real, time-tested principles that have turned ordinary individuals into extraordinary success stories. And here's the good news. Every single one of these habits is within your reach. You don't need to be born into wealth to apply them. You don't need a certain level of education or a magical opportunity. What you need is a shift in mindset, commitment to discipline, and relentless consistency. Over the course of this journey, we'll explore 7 powerful habits that create millionaire-level wealth. These are not vague ideas. They are practical, actionable, and transformational. By the time we finish, you want to just understand what the wealthy do differently. You'll be equipped with the tools and the mindset to begin applying these habits in your own life. But let me give you a warning. Once you see the truth about how wealth is created, you can never unsee it. The moment you understand the proven path, excuses lose their power. From this point forward, it won't be a matter of if wealth is possible for you. It will only be a matter of when. So let's begin this journey into the world of the wealthy, not with fantasies, but with clarity, power, and a blueprint that works. If wealth were only about money, most lottery winners would stay rich. Yet statistics prove the opposite. Within a few years, the majority of lottery winners are broke again. Why? Because wealth without the right mindset is temporary. To build lasting millionaire-level wealth, the foundation is not money, it's mindset. A different mindset means seeing the world through a new lens. Where most people see limitations, the wealthy see possibilities. Where most see risk, the wealthy see opportunity. Where most complain about problems, the wealthy look for solutions. This shift in thinking doesn't happen overnight, but once it takes root, it rewires every financial decision that follows. Think about the 1%. They don't operate on the same beliefs that hold back the 99%. While the average person might say, "I can't afford this," the wealthy ask, "How can I afford this?" That one small shift in language transforms everything. One phrase shuts down possibility, while the other opens the mind to creativity and resourcefulness. This is why mindset is habit number 1. Without it, the rest of the habits won't stick. With it, everything else becomes possible. Most people inherit limiting beliefs about money. They hear phrases like, "Money is the root of all evil," or "Rich people are greedy." These beliefs become subconscious barriers. If you believe wealth is negative, your actions will always sabotage your financial growth. Wealthy individuals flip that belief. They see money not as evil, but as a tool for freedom, for impact, and for creating opportunities. When you adopt this mindset, every dollar you earn has a purpose. Money stops being something that controls you and becomes something you control. Another powerful mindset shift is how the wealthy view failure. The average person fears failure, avoids risk, and plays small, but the wealthy embrace failure as feedback. Every failure is a lesson, a stepping stone to mastery. They understand that behind every success story is a trail of failures that taught resilience, innovation, and growth. The wealthy also think in terms of decades, not days. While the average person is lured by instant gratification, a new gadget, a quick vacation, or the thrill of spending, the wealthy delay gratification. They invest. They plant seeds today that will bear fruit years from now. This long-term vision separates those who create wealth from those who consume it. Consider the story of an entrepreneur who faced rejection after rejection when pitching an idea. Instead of seeing these rejections as signs to quit, they saw them as training. Each rejection refined their pitch, sharpened their vision, and toughened their resilience. That mindset transformed rejection into revenue. Years later, that same idea turned into a multi-million-dollar company. If you want to begin building millionaire-level wealth, start by reprogramming your beliefs. Challenge every thought you've been conditioned to believe about money, success, and risk. Replace scarcity thinking with abundance thinking. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," replace it with, "How can I?" Every time you feel fear of failure, remind yourself it's feedback. Wealth starts in the mind long before it shows up in the bank account. Once you develop the mindset of the wealthy, every decision, every habit, and every opportunity aligns with financial growth. This is the foundation. Without it, the other 6 habits are fragile. With it, they become unstoppable. The line that separates the wealthy 1% from the struggling 99% is not intelligence, luck, or even opportunity. It's habits. Habits are the silent architects of destiny. They are the invisible routines shaping every choice, every decision, and ultimately, every outcome. And here's the truth. Wealth isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in daily, consistent steps, repeated over and over until success becomes inevitable. The wealthy don't just rely on inspiration or motivation. They rely on systems of habits that make success automatic. These habits become second nature, guiding them even when motivation fades. Think of habits as the compound interest of behavior. The small things you do daily that multiply into massive results over time. The average person finishes school and stops learning. The wealthy, they never stop. They are obsessed with growth. Books, podcasts, mentorships, masterminds, and networking events aren't hobbies. They're necessities. Every new idea absorbed is a new tool, a new perspective, a new advantage. Warren Buffett once said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." He reportedly spends 5 to 6 hours a day reading and learning. That's not a coincidence. That's a habit that compounds into extraordinary financial wisdom. The 99% save what's left after spending. The 1% spend what's left after saving and investing. That single habit changes everything. Wealthy individuals build systems where investing happens automatically. Money is moved into assets before it ever has a chance to be wasted. Over time, these investments multiply, creating wealth even while they sleep. What good is wealth if your body can't enjoy it? The wealthy understand that health is wealth. Exercise, nutrition, and rest aren't luxuries. They're non-negotiables. The energy they build fuels their focus, creativity, and productivity. In contrast, the average person sacrifices health for comfort, unaware that low energy is robbing them of the drive needed to create wealth. Most people spend their days reacting, answering emails, scrolling social media, handling other people's priorities. The wealthy operate differently. They focus on their highest value tasks. They know the difference between being busy and being productive. This habit of prioritizing ensures their energy goes into actions that actually move the needle financially. While the average person complains about what they lack, the wealthy practice gratitude. This isn't just positive thinking. It's a mindset that attracts opportunities. Gratitude keeps them focused on growth, not lack. Alongside gratitude, they practice vision, imagining, and clearly defining what they want to achieve. Habits of gratitude and vision keep them motivated during the hardest seasons. Think of a business owner who started with nothing but discipline. While friends spent money on nights out, they saved and invested. While others complained about Monday mornings, they spent early hours reading, strategizing, and planning. Over years, their daily habits transformed them from employee to employer, from struggling paycheck to paycheck to living in abundance. The story wasn't too glamorous. It was built on invisible habits repeated daily until they became unstoppable. If you want to join the 1%, audit your habits. Ask yourself, are your daily routines pulling you toward wealth or holding you in mediocrity? Replace time-wasting habits with wealth-building ones. Create a system where investing happens automatically, learning is daily, and health is non-negotiable. Habits don't lie. They predict your future. This is the separation. Habits build momentum. Momentum builds wealth, and wealth builds freedom. Every dream, every plan, every goal eventually collides with one word: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Without it, even the best strategies collapse. With it, even the most ordinary person can build extraordinary wealth. Discipline is often misunderstood. It isn't about being harsh or robotic. It's about being consistent. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. The wealthy understand that feelings are temporary, but results last forever. Motivation is exciting, but it's fleeting. Anyone can feel motivated after listening to a speech or reading an inspiring book. But what happens when the excitement fades? Discipline carries you through. The wealthy don't wait for perfect conditions or bursts of energy. They've trained themselves to act, regardless of mood. Wealth requires discipline in how money is managed. The wealthy say no to unnecessary expenses, no matter how tempting. They set budgets, stick to investment plans, and delay gratification. While others chase instant pleasures, they practice restraint, knowing that every dollar saved and invested brings them closer to financial freedom. Time is the most precious resource, yet most people waste it carelessly. The wealthy protect their time with discipline. They say no to distractions, no to unproductive meetings, and no to activities that drain energy without adding value. Their calendars reflect their priorities. Every hour is an investment, not an accident. Consistency is discipline in action. Anyone can go to the gym once. Anyone can save money once. But building wealth requires repeated, disciplined actions. The wealthy don't look for quick wins. They build systems that run for years, compounding effort into extraordinary results. Consider an investor who committed to saving and investing a fixed percentage of their income every month. At first, it was small and unnoticeable. Friends laughed, saying, "What's the point of saving that little?" But with discipline, that small contribution grew. Year after year, the investments compounded. Decades later, those small, disciplined steps became financial independence, a fortune built not from luck, but from relentless discipline. Discipline is not restriction, it's freedom. By saying no to what doesn't matter, you say yes to what does. By being disciplined with spending, you gain the freedom of financial security. By being disciplined with time, you gain the freedom to choose how to live. If you want to build millionaire-level wealth, cultivate discipline. Start small. Set one rule for yourself and stick to it, no matter what. Maybe it's saving 10% of your income, or dedicating 1 hour a day to learning. Whatever it is, practice discipline until it becomes a habit. Wealth doesn't belong to those who are lucky. It belongs to those who are disciplined. And once you master discipline, you unlock the foundation upon which every other habit is built. Failure. For most people, it's the end of the road. They try once, stumble, and decide they're not cut out for greatness. But for the wealthy, for those building millionaire-level wealth, failure is never the end. It's a stepping stone, a teacher, a catalyst for growth. Every success story you admire is built on a foundation of failure. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset turned rejection and frustration into one of history's greatest inventions. The same principle applies to wealth creation. Failures aren't dead ends. They are detours guiding you toward the right path. While the average person fears failure, the wealthy expect it. They understand that if you're aiming high, mistakes are inevitable. But instead of letting setbacks crush them, they ask, "What can I learn here? What's the lesson hidden inside this challenge?" That mindset turns failure into feedback. Rejection is often the scariest kind of failure. Imagine pitching an idea to investors and hearing, "No." For most people, that sting lingers, leading them to quit. But the wealthy reframe rejection. They see it as redirection, proof they must sharpen their idea, refine their pitch, or find a different audience. They don't take it personally, they take it strategically. Resilience is forged in the fire of failure. Think about it. Muscles only grow after being broken down through resistance. The same is true of character. The wealthy grow tougher with every obstacle, developing grit that becomes their competitive advantage. Consider the story of a tech founder who launched not one, but 3 failed startups. Each collapse drained finances and energy, but instead of quitting, they dissected each failure. Why did one model collapse? Why did investors walk away? Why did customers lose interest? With every failure, the founder grew sharper, wiser, more resilient. On the 4th attempt, with the lessons from every past mistake embedded into their strategy, success finally exploded, turning years of losses into a billion-dollar empire. Here's the rule. Failure is tuition. You pay with time, energy, and sometimes money, but the lesson you gain is priceless. Don't run from it. Learn from it. Ask yourself, what did this setback teach me about myself, about my strategy, about my vision? The wealthy don't escape failure. They embrace it, harness it, and use it as fuel. If you want to build millionaire-level wealth, start reframing failure. It's not a signal to stop, it's proof you're moving. Wealth is not a mystery. It follows a formula the wealthy live by, and the 99% overlook. It's simple, but powerful. Wealth, income, plus investments, plus growth. Most people focus only on income. They think earning more is the key. But wealth isn't a T about how much you earn. It is about how much you keep, how you invest it, and how you make it grow. The wealthy master this formula until it becomes second nature. The wealthy understand one truth. A single income stream is fragile. One job loss, one market crash, and everything collapses. That's why they build multiple streams of income. They create businesses, side hustles, investments, royalties, and passive income channels that protect them from risk and multiply opportunities. The average person relies on one paycheck. The wealthy build systems where money flows from multiple directions. Wealth doesn't grow in a savings account. It grows when money is invested in assets that multiply over time. Stocks, real estate, businesses, and intellectual property. These are the vehicles of the wealthy. Instead of asking, "How can I spend this?" they ask, "Where can I invest this to multiply its value?" That single shift turns dollars into engines of growth. Albert Einstein called compounding the 8th wonder of the world. The wealthy know that small investments, left to grow, explode into massive fortunes over time. They don't chase get-rich-quick schemes. They rely on steady, compounding growth that builds unstoppable momentum. Imagine someone who invests just $500 every month into an index fund with consistent returns. At first, it looks small, almost insignificant. But with discipline, over 20 years, that modest habit grows into hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the power of the formula: consistent income, smart investing, and the patience to let growth compound. Meanwhile, the person who spends every extra $500 on momentary pleasures has nothing to show decades later. Same income, different formula. One path leads to wealth. The other leads to regret. The wealthy focus on systems, not luck. The wealthy don't rely on luck or timing the market. They build systems that guarantee growth over time. Automatic investments, reinvested dividends, and diversified portfolios aren't glamorous, but they are reliable. And reliability creates freedom. If you want millionaire-level wealth, master the formula. Start by expanding your income. Even small side hustles count. Then invest automatically so money grows whether you think about it or not. Finally, give growth the time it needs. Wealth isn't an event, it's a process. The formula is proven. The question is, are you following it or ignoring it? There's a saying, your network is your net worth. Wealth isn't built in isolation. The richest minds on earth didn't climb to success alone. They connected, learned, collaborated, and grew alongside other ambitious individuals. The difference between struggling in silence and thriving in abundance often comes down to the company you keep. Success is contagious. When you spend time around people who think bigger, act bolder, and demand more from life, their energy rubs off on you. The wealthy know this. They deliberately put themselves in rooms where they are not the smartest, not the richest, not the most successful, because being surrounded by greatness forces growth. Average minds talk about entertainment, gossip, or complaints. Wealthy minds talk about investments, ideas, opportunities, and solutions. The conversations you participate in shape your future. The fastest way to wealth is to learn from someone who has already walked the path. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, the wealthy seek mentors. They pay for coaching, they buy into masterminds, they study biographies, and they absorb lessons from those ahead of them. Mentorship compresses time. A lesson that might take you 10 years to learn through trial and error can be gained in 10 minutes from the right mentor. That's why the wealthy don't see mentorship as a cost, they see it as an investment. Networking isn't about collecting business cards, it's about building genuine relationships. The wealthy approach networking with curiosity. How can I add value to this person's life? Rather than, what can I get from them? That authenticity creates trust, and trust opens doors to opportunities, partnerships, and collaborations that accelerate wealth. Consider the story of an ambitious entrepreneur who attended a small mastermind event. At first, they felt out of place, surrounded by people wealthier and more experienced. But instead of shrinking, they listened, learned, and built relationships. One connection at that event later became a business partner who introduced them to an investor network. That single connection, born out of one room, one conversation, changed the entire trajectory of their career, leading to millions in revenue. Audit your network. Are the people around you inspiring growth or pulling you back into mediocrity? Begin seeking out mentors, networking events, or even online communities where financial success is the standard. Be willing to invest time, energy, and sometimes money to get into these rooms. Remember, wealth is rarely created alone. Surround yourself with millionaire minds, and your own thinking will expand to match theirs. Time is the ultimate equalizer. Everyone has 24 hours in a day, no more, no less. Yet some people barely survive on those hours, while others build empires. The difference lies in how time is valued and used. The wealthy treat time as their most precious resource. The average person spends time, the wealthy invest it. Think of time as currency. Every day, you are given 24 time dollars. Once they're gone, you never get them back. Most people spend those dollars carelessly, on distractions, meaningless activities, or low-value tasks. The wealthy spend them wisely, directing each dollar toward growth, learning, relationships, and opportunities. The wealthy ruthlessly eliminate time traps, endless scrolling on social media, binge-watching shows, or doing busy work disguised as productivity. These are traps that steal wealth. The wealthy identify their highest value tasks and focus there. If a task doesn't create income, growth, or impact, they either delegate it or eliminate it. One of the most powerful habits of the wealthy is buying back time. They hire assistants, outsource repetitive tasks, and automate systems. To the average person, this looks like spending money, but to the wealthy, it's buying freedom. Every hour freed from low-value work can be reinvested into high-value creation. The wealthy also view time on a bigger scale. They don't just think about today or tomorrow. They plan in years, even decades. While the average person looks for immediate results, the wealthy ask, how will this decision pay off 5, 10, or 20 years from now? That long-term horizon allows them to build projects and investments that create wealth beyond imagination. Think of an investor who dedicated 1 hour each morning to research instead of watching television. Over months, that single habit built a depth of knowledge that allowed them to spot an undervalued investment. That one decision, made possible by prioritizing time, turned into a fortune. 1 hour, redirected with discipline, changed everything. If you want millionaire-level wealth, start treating time like money. Audit your hours. Track where they go. Ask yourself, is this task creating wealth or wasting time? Begin buying back your hours. Outsource, automate, delegate. Protect your mornings for high-value work. Wealthy individuals know that money lost can be regained. Time lost is gone forever. Master your time, and wealth will follow. At the heart of every great fortune lies a decision, a risk that most people were too afraid to take. The wealthy don't stumble into success by accident. They understand and master the psychology of risk and reward. They don't recklessly gamble, but they also don't cling to safety like the average person does. Instead, they calculate, embrace, and leverage risk as the gateway to wealth. Most people live their entire lives inside the comfort zone, a steady paycheck, a predictable routine, minimal risk, minimal reward. They trade the possibility of greatness for the illusion of safety. But the truth is, safety is an illusion. Jobs vanish, markets shift, economies collapse. Playing safe often becomes the riskiest decision of all. The wealthy know this. That's why they are willing to step beyond comfort, to test ideas, launch businesses, and invest where others hesitate. For the wealthy, risk is not a threat, it's a filter. It separates the fearful from the fearless, the reactive from the strategic. Every time they take a calculated risk, they expand their capacity for growth. They don't jump blindly, and they analyze, measure, and then act decisively. Think of risk like a ladder. Each rung requires you to let go of the one below. To climb, you must embrace uncertainty, but without climbing, you never rise. What paralyzes most people is the thought, what if I fail? The wealthy ask a different question. What if I succeed? They see failure as tuition, not tragedy. Every risk, win or lose, brings knowledge. And that knowledge compounds into wisdom. The kind that makes future risks less uncertain and far more profitable. The wealthy also understand asymmetrical risk. Situations where the potential reward outweighs the potential loss. For example, investing $10,000 in a business idea may carry a risk of losing $10,000. Consider the story of an investor who recognized early potential in a small, unknown company developing disruptive technology. While others hesitated, fearing the risk of loss, this investor took action. The risk paid off exponentially when that company became a global leader, turning a modest investment into generational wealth. The difference? They understood risk not as something to avoid, but as a tool to wield. Start shifting your mindset about risk. Stop asking only, what might I lose? Start asking, what might I gain? Calculate risks. Learn to embrace discomfort. Build the muscle of decision-making. Not every risk will pay off, but avoiding risk guarantees mediocrity. Wealthy individuals are not fearless. They are courageous. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is action in spite of it. Master risk, and you master one of the most powerful levers of wealth. If risk is the gateway to wealth, then emotional resilience is the armor that carries you through it. Because wealth creation is not a smooth road, it's a storm, filled with setbacks, stress, criticism, and uncertainty. Those who crumble under pressure never make it. Those who master resilience, however, transform every storm into strength. Building wealth is not linear. There will be moments of exhilarating highs, a business breakthrough, an investment paying off, a deal closing. But there will also be crushing lows, Deals falling apart, investments tanking, unexpected losses. The difference between those who quit and those who succeed isn't the absence of setbacks. It's the presence of emotional resilience, the ability to stay calm, centered, and focused no matter what. The wealthy train themselves to thrive under pressure. Instead of panicking, they pause. Instead of collapsing, they adapt. They know pressure is part of the process. It sharpens decision-making, strengthens focus, and weeds out the uncommitted. Think of diamonds. They are nothing but carbon under pressure. Resilience transforms ordinary into extraordinary. Along the journey to wealth, criticism is guaranteed. People will doubt you, mock you, even resent your success. The average person lets criticism break their spirit. The wealthy use it as fuel. They understand that criticism often reflects the limitations of others, not their own. Instead of shrinking, they double down on their vision. Emotional resilience is also the key to navigating difficult conversations, high-stakes negotiations, and leadership challenges. The wealthy don't allow emotions to hijack their decisions. They remain steady, strategic, and composed, traits that inspire trust and command respect. Imagine a real estate developer who faced complete financial collapse when a market downturn wiped out millions in assets. Many would have quit under the weight of debt and humiliation. But this developer chose resilience. Instead of hiding, they studied the market, adapted their strategy, and rebuilt stronger than before. Years later, they not only recovered but expanded far beyond their previous success. The collapse became the foundation of an empire. Resilience isn't genetic, it's built. Just like muscles, emotional resilience grows through training. Meditation, journaling, physical fitness, and deliberate exposure to discomfort build the capacity to remain calm in chaos. The wealthy practice these disciplines to keep their minds strong and flexible. If you want to build wealth, commit to building resilience. Start by reframing stress as growth. When you face criticism, turn it into fuel. When you encounter setbacks, treat them as training. Practice emotional discipline daily, in small frustrations, in minor failures, so that when the storms of wealth arrive, you're ready. Because here's the truth. Wealth doesn't break the strong, it reveals them. And those who master emotional resilience don't just survive the journey to millionaire-level wealth, they thrive on it. If discipline is the fuel and resilience is the armor, then systems are the machinery of wealth. The wealthy don't rely on willpower alone. They know human motivation fluctuates, so instead of leaving success up to chance, they design systems that make wealth automatic. Most people set goals. I want to save more money. I want to start investing. But goals without systems are fragile. When stress comes, when motivation dips, those goals vanish. The wealthy remove this fragility by creating structures that force success. For example, they set up automatic transfers into investment accounts. They design businesses with processes that run whether they are present or not. They automate marketing, delegate operations, and create passive income streams. This way, wealth is built not by chance or bursts of effort, but by consistent systems running in the background. Think of wealth like a flywheel. At first, it takes effort to push, but once the system is set up, momentum builds. Investments compound, businesses scale, networks expand. The system begins generating results faster than effort alone ever could. Financial automation. Automatic investing into index funds, real estate trusts, or retirement accounts. Money grows even while sleeping. Business systems. Standard operating procedures, automated sales funnels, outsourced teams that allow income to scale without trading hours for dollars. Personal systems. Time blocking, productivity routines, and accountability structures that protect focus and efficiency. Consider an entrepreneur who struggled for years, working 80-hour weeks, exhausted and burned out. Everything depended on them. Then they shifted their approach. Instead of trying to do everything themselves, they built systems, hiring a team, automating marketing, and streamlining operations. Within a few years, the business not only ran without them, but scaled to levels impossible by effort alone. Freedom arrived not through more work, but through better systems. Ask yourself, what can I automate, delegate, or systematize today? Can you set up an automatic transfer into investments? Can you build routines that protect your mornings for high-value work? Can you structure your business to run without your constant presence? The wealthy don't rise by accident. They build systems that guarantee progress, even on their worst days. If you want wealth that lasts, design systems that make success inevitable. The pursuit of millionaire-level wealth is not just about money. True wealth goes beyond bank accounts, cars, or luxury. The wealthy understand that the ultimate measure of success is legacy, what you leave behind, how you impact others, and the ripple effect of your life's work. Money is a tool, not the goal for the average person. Money is the finish line. But for the wealthy, money is a tool, a means to build, create, and contribute. They think not just about what wealth can buy, but about what wealth can build: schools, charities, opportunities, and platforms that outlast their lifetime. Wealthy individuals eventually transition from asking, "How much can I earn?" to "How much impact can I create?" That shift from success to significance defines true legacy. Their focus extends beyond personal gain to generational impact. The wealthy think in terms of generations. They don't just aim to provide for themselves, they structure trusts, businesses, and investments that will serve their families for decades. But more than money, they pass down values: discipline, resilience, vision, and mindset. Because money without wisdom is quickly lost. Legacy is also about contribution. From philanthropists funding hospitals to entrepreneurs creating jobs, the wealthy leave footprints of impact. They measure their life not just in dollars earned, but in lives touched. Consider an investor who built immense wealth through real estate. Instead of hoarding riches, they created foundations to provide housing for underprivileged families. Their name became associated not just with wealth, but with transformation. Decades later, long after their passing, their legacy continues to live in the lives of those they lifted. Ask yourself, what will outlast you? What will your wealth represent? Begin thinking beyond accumulation and toward contribution. Even small acts, mentoring someone, supporting a cause, creating something valuable, plant seeds of legacy. Millionaire-level wealth is not just about freedom for yourself. It's about impact that ripples through time. The wealthy know money fades, but legacy lives forever. We've journeyed through the habits, the mindsets, and the strategies that separate the 1% from the 99%. And as you reflect on everything we've uncovered, there's one undeniable truth. Wealth is not reserved for the chosen few. Wealth is reserved for the disciplined, the resilient, and the bold. Think about it. Everything you've heard is not out of reach. It's not a secret code hidden in private clubs. It's not locked behind walls of privilege. It's built on habits. Habits that anyone can practice. Habits that you can begin today. Remember this: success is not about one grand action. It's about small daily disciplines. The mindset shifts that open doors. The learning that fuels growth. The discipline that makes success predictable. The ability to turn failure into a stepping stone, to master risk, to guard time, to build systems, and to leave a legacy. These aren't distant theories. They're proven, and they're waiting for you to apply them. Most people will never apply these principles. They'll nod, agree, maybe even feel inspired for a moment, but then return to the comfort zone. They'll let fear of failure hold them back. They'll tell themselves, one day, but one day becomes someday. Someday becomes never. And they stay stuck in mediocrity, wondering why the 1% live differently. But you now hold the blueprint. You've seen the roadmap. You've felt the truth. Wealth isn't luck. Wealth isn't magic. Wealth is built step by step through habits anyone can master. So the question becomes, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you set it aside and let life pull you back into routine? Or will you take the first step today, no matter how small? Because the truth is, you don't need to transform everything overnight. You just need to begin. Start with one habit. Build momentum. Let discipline grow. Let resilience strengthen. Wealth isn't built in a day, but it begins in a day. It begins in the day you decide, enough is enough. From today forward, I live differently. Picture your future self, 10, 20 years from now. They're standing in the life you're building today. Will they thank you for the courage, the discipline, and the action you chose? Or will they resent you for the chances you didn't take, the risks you avoided, and the habits you never built? Every choice today echoes into the future. The systems you build today will either lock you into mediocrity or unlock freedom. The resilience you practice now will either keep you stuck or make you unstoppable. So here's the challenge. Act now. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfect timing. Don't wait until you feel ready. Wealth doesn't wait. Success doesn't wait. The 1% didn't wait. They moved, they acted, they built. Start today. Read that book. Save that first 10%. Wake up earlier. Build the system. Say no to distractions. Connect with people who elevate you. Reframe your failures. Protect your time. Plant seeds for your legacy. Because every small step compounds. Every habit multiplies. Every action builds momentum. And momentum is unstoppable. You now know the 7 proven habits that build millionaire-level wealth. They are not distant. They are not impossible. They are yours to claim. But only if you decide. Only if you begin. So take that first step. Believe in yourself. Act with courage. Discipline yourself daily. And remember, wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom. It's about impact. It's about living fully and leaving a mark that outlasts you. The journey starts now. Your time is now. The habits are proven. The only question left is, will you take them and change your life forever?